Hello, I'm Mark Baer. You're watching the YourTown show. I'm with Randy Tunnell, his new book, CARMEL and Big Sur Painters. Let's see the book up, Randy. Okay, I'll let you put yours there. I'll keep mine here. And so, we last spoke about a year ago. You were about halfway through the project. I think when we came and shot, I was number in the 40s.
Something like that, not to turn you into a number.
Yeah, but this is a huge project, and what did it take?
It was a project that started very modestly, me doing some portraiture in town as just a general project during COVID to give me something to do each day. I'd get up, have a workout, take a shower, walk into town with a camera, do a picture, post it, 5 o'clock, have a beverage, do the next day, just continue to do a picture every day. So it was just in the interest of keeping discipline fresh. And I met Joaquin Turner in his gallery and did a portrait of him, and reminded me of how much I enjoy photographing creatives. And we talked, and he had some suggestions, and I'd drop into galleries, and Johnny Apodaca for one, and everybody embraced, were willing to be photographed, and I enjoyed it, and we built up a number of portraits, and what it amounted to is I had to meet and photograph 100 people. I went to 100 places, actually a few more, but our book was landed at 100 local creative painters.
So Big Sur and CARMEL, and then this was preceded also. Again, we were discussing at the Cherry Center, where it initially started as an exhibition with photographs, and then a small piece by the artist. Right. So then that was the step after the full book idea took off.
Right. Yeah, we had 25 in our pocket, and we did the show at the Carl Cherry Gallery. We did a one-day kind of a pop-up on easels to be a centerpiece in Devendorf Park for the Meet the Makers wine and art walk. And it made a real nice piece to fill the park with these large prints, 25 of them. And that was really where we got the general vocal support of creating a book. And from there we went in earnest to seek out people who were appropriate for the book. We got the Carmel Art Association was a big resource. About 40% of the book are members of the association, and then from there, artists would suggest other characters. Yes, and so it was a real vision quest, as it turned out, and became like a real. It was a lot to put our arms around, but it was a wonderful project for me.
One of the things that everybody is amazingly well lit in the piece. So what happens is there's a great consistency within the book, mm-hmm. And everybody looked good. So I never heard anybody saying I don't like my picture, which is and they would tell me that they're how artists are.
Sure.
They'll tell you. So everybody was. This isn't me, that's me. So so you got very definitive portraits. And then the other thing that was very interesting, because we've had now a couple of public events, mm-hmm. that I was able to attend, as being a part of this.
And I thank you for attending those. That was wonderful. You showed up.
But well, everybody wanted to really show up, because why wouldn't they? But one of the things that we talked about was, let us hope that this becomes the historic document. In other words, I hope it almost makes people conscious in a way that they belong to a community, they belong to a tradition, and they belong to a time and place. And by you honoring them, they have to kind of honor this time and place with their work. It's it's a bit difficult to articulate, but there was that feeling.
Yes, and that's what I have experienced as well. It is a comprehensive collection, all in the same covers, between the same covers of the book, and the wide range, the diversity of individuals with the same artistic, only painters, just only fine art painters, which is open to quite a range of expression, and to have them all in the same place with a continuity of style and by one single photographer is unique. It's never been done. It creates an enduring historic graphic document that it is a time capsule of this time, and the energy that it's created within that community has really, I think, been an opportunity to create a narrative, to create a connective tissue in the town that seems to be so welcomed. Everybody's very excited about being in it because they are being acknowledged and appreciated, and then the rest of the art culture community is just in the same bucket, and it's proving to be to start a lot of conversation.
So one of the things that I heard also is, well, he came to my studio and I expected this to take hours, and Randy came in, he looked around, he set up, and he shot.
Well, that checks out.
and that's a kind of a confidence.
I've been doing this for a long time, and that's I'm primarily a location shooter, primarily a human being photographer, and the spaces, either a studio or gallery that was our setting, the table was set, and I just needed to make a selection, make a choice where in that space to photograph these people, and really it was an artistic exercise for me to have the objective to create a dignified, meaningful, not meaningful, but a dignified portrait of with dignity and something that would have a shelf life. And there was one comment, maybe made more than once, that I didn't want a big smile, a big toothy grinning, as if it were a family album or an ad in a magazine. I wanted it to be something more soulful and
you really
rich.
Put the artist in their work.
Yeah,
that seemed to be the That's one of the feedback that I heard. He really saw the work, saw the artist, and put them together.
Yeah, with intention. I wanted to have the work either coming from out of the frame into the picture, or be our environment, the setting. And one of the remarkable things, I've revisited this book a couple of times, but most recently I had the most gratification from realizing how porous the human element in the picture is, because they, by some accident, by just the nature of being organic, their costume, their clothing, their setting, their art, their persona is practically a reflection of their work. And you can see, that there some people a little more conservative dressed, some people being the full range, the wide range of, I guess on topic, one comment that I had recently at one of the events was a visitor was hosted by a person who showed them the book, and they were saying, well, I want to purchase artwork for my home that I just purchased to live in town, and now I get to see all of the artists, all of the source of all of the art that the town has to offer, and now I feel like I've been introduced to the art community.
So a couple things I'm really grateful is that, you know, Carmel has this past, but I would like Carmel to have its now and future.
Yes,
As this creative place. You know, it doesn't, you know, living in the glory of people of 100 years ago is only so glorious. You know,
sure.
Living in the now, most people are here for a reason. They're here specifically because they want to be here, and they paint here because there is a creative community that spurs them on and supports them. And I think what the book does is you made everybody feel important, because an artist rarely feels very important. They like to sell houses about the history of the place, but they don't. The artist is really important. And then the other thing about this, you know, you had all these different people, but they're Randy Tunnell photographs, and that through line of style and whatever it is that makes a Randy Tunnell photograph is through the book. Mm-hmm. You know, it is consistent.
Good. I'm glad that lands for you. Yeah. And just to circle back, I think that the range of linear time, the setting, the landscape, the spirit, the vibe, the vortex of this area 100 years ago still exists now.
Of course,
it still has the appeal and the attraction and magnetism that the very first artists that found the area and settled the town still exists now, happily and through a great amount of effort to be faithful to retaining the environment, not to overbuild, not to really ruin the setting. So that, I think that art culture was manifest in the lifestyle and the area that we love so much now. So I feel like practically, well, they're responsible for setting the tone and being faithful to enjoying and leveraging the things that brought them here in the first place.
And what did you learn as an artist? Because this is a big, you know, there's no difference between taking photographs and compiling 100 people, compiling a book. And as a photographer, it's another, making a book is different than a photograph. It's a different kind of creative undertaking.
Sure, yeah, the book was a marathon. And so, you know, it was each character, each session at a time, and it was humbling, really, because of the level of talent that the local artists have. They're you know, I've spent my career. I mean, human beings are really fascinated with what the other human beings look like, and so that's my livelihood. And as a result, I've met and photographed people that you know their names because they're noteworthy. Mm-hmm. And these artists are all noteworthy because of the work and the contribution they've made to their art form, our town. And you might not know what they look like because you know their canvases, you know their work.
Right. And
just by nature of the exercise of being an artist and being possibly even slightly bohemian, not be anonymous, but certainly not in a spotlight of any kind. So to have it be an opportunity to meet them, capture them in a loving way, with their work, I think it was a real wonderful experience for me.
And now you have the book comes out, and people buy it and see it, and now they're looking at it. That must be really, really satisfying. It's different than an exhibit because, you know, you're there. It's one day. It's something, but this is something that unfolds.
Yes.
And grows,
yeah.
And it's just the beginning, and this has got to be a lot of fun.
This is a nice moment for me.
Yeah,
because we've had a couple of public forums and an opportunity to really debut the book and get reaction and see how it's landing, if people understand and really appreciate it, And so for me, I'm really grateful. I'm really pleased with the result. We spent a ton on the printing, knowing that an aesthetic event was taking place here, and artists are built on that aesthetic.
Now you have a book, so that puts you on a different level of photographer. So how would you, how would you describe the kind of Randy Tunnell style?
Just trying to capture something in an earnest, honest, genuine way that tries to tell the person's story, try to tell the subject's story in a graphic. I don't know. It's a difficult thing for me to grasp.
But uniformly throughout this, your lighting is beautiful.
Oh,
so.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, like I said earlier, it's just a matter of practice of photographing people in their environments, needing to assess the environment quickly and respect the time of the individuals. I mean, I've had almost an argument with Henry Kissinger over the lighting of a session that we did, because he was complaining that his eyes were delicate and he was a little uncomfortable, and I was adjusting the light and trying to find a nice balance, and he was still not entirely thrilled with the fact that he was being photographed. I think it was with Condoleezza Rice, and I mean I was like nose to nose with Henry Kissinger, pleading with him to just we can't see you if we don't have light on you. So I mean when I find the individual in their environment, I know what it's going to look like in 2D, and I know what I want to have in the frame with the person's likeness, whether it's a very close up on their face, or if they're just a small piece of the image. They're the focal point, but all the information that's included in the frame is the story. And
it's got to be beautiful, and you made it beautiful.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I was Randy Tunnell, the new book, CARMEL Painters. CARMEL and Big Sur Painters. Let's not leave out Big Sur.
Absolutely not.
Congratulations, man.
Hey, thanks so much, Mark. I appreciate it.